This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I'm back here again, feeling nervous, got butterflies in my stomach again. Oh no, same old cycle I'm in, where you pull, then I fall, then you leave. I'm lost in this puzzle again. Keep it simple, ain't in my partner's vocabulary yet. I'm stuck at this hurdle again, where you pull, then I fall, then you leave.
Rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. We kind of already know that. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, how are you doing on this fabulous June the 17th of 2026? As we are broadcasting on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there. Radio Big. Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends and colleagues at Radio Big, doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. Definitely no doubt about that. So anyways, how's the last 24 hours or so been? Or for you? Really trying to figure that out. So I will tell you, yesterday was an interesting one. So yesterday, one of my children definitely had a competition going on. So I had to run out of the studio once I was done here and hanging out over there doing that stuff. Did not realize that was going to be like a 10-hour event. Yeah, let me explain that one to you, right? So there you go. So one of those work family commitment things going on. So that's what was happening yesterday. So for me, I've been good. I appreciate the concern, but let's talk right away about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the multi here. Our show here consists of safety in the news and safety, if you're not aware of this. What we'll be doing here for the next hour at least is talking about everything that's going on inside of the world of the news, and then talking about the world of safety, giving you some level of a main story, and then doing that kind of stuff. This is hour 1 of 3. 2 and 3 will consist of the following stuff. We will bring in some professional broadcasters. We will come in and then have them talk about what the hell's going on inside of the news cycles, and then I will give you the main story. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process in doing so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging is kind of the way that we do our stuff on that side of the neighborhood. And that's it. Gives me a little prompter over here on the screen, and then I know what to do. So let me explain this to you before I forget, too. Right now, we're doing some other stuff going on. So we're multicasting. We're on safetyfm.com. We're on radiobig.fm. But you can also come and hang out with us on the podcast catcher, because some of these are playing this thing live in living color as we are doing this. And then now, once the podcast finally hits, it has this option now where you can turn the video and audio off, or flip between the two, better saying is what I should say. Or you can always go to our visual radio site on safetyfm.com and then click on the section that says visual radio. There you go. That is the whole kit and caboodle. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this. We can start rolling right away about what the hell is going on inside of the world of the news stories. And we can do that right now if you're good with it. So let's do that.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Stuart Smith. The FBI has arrested multiple people in connection with an alleged terrorist plot to attack Sunday's Ultimate Fighting Championship event at the White House. It was designed to coincide with Donald Trump's 80th birthday celebrations. Nick Harper reports from Washington.
The news came from FBI Director Kash Patel, who said the planned attacks were stopped cold. The FBI became aware of a multi-state operation last Wednesday, which allegedly involved a plan to hit nearby buildings around the White House with explosive-laden drones. Snipers would then have targeted the fleeing crowd, while another team of attackers planned to storm the White House gates. The plotters used the messaging app Signal to coordinate. Up to 23 people have been identified by authorities, with as many as 5 already arrested. I'm Nick Harper in Washington.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump are meeting on the sidelines of the G7 summit on Wednesday as tensions loom over ties. Trade talks are likely to be on the agenda, but pressure is also growing on Modi to criticize the US after 3 Indian sailors died in the Gulf region last week as a result of US military strikes. Ishan Garg has more from New Delhi.
Topping the agenda during the bilateral meeting between the Indian and US leaders is a looming trade deal. Negotiations have been going on for over a year now, but experts say New Delhi is unwilling to sign a deal until Washington promises that no unilateral tariffs will be imposed after the deal is signed. But there is a more sensitive issue on the table. 3 Indian sailors were killed last week when US forces struck commercial vessels near the Strait of Hormuz. India has formally protested, but there's been no US apology. Back home, opposition leaders are demanding Prime Minister Modi confront Trump directly. Analysts say the recent tensions might not derail the wider relationship, but could make progress on other fronts a lot slower.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says he and his wife are being targeted by the US Department of Justice. Mr. Newsom believes the Trump administration is behind the probe because he's considering a run for president. Mitch McCann reports.
In a video statement, California's governor said Donald Trump isn't just coming after me because of my mean tweets. He's coming after me because I am considering running for president. He added, to get me, he's coming after my wife. While the scope of any investigation is unclear, it's reported that federal agents have been questioning friends and associates of Mr. Newsom in recent weeks. The New York Times says that includes former employees of the governor and people associated with his wife's non-profit groups. Mr. Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, said in a statement, "This is not presidential behaviour, and the governor and I will continue to speak truth to power because the American people deserve so much more." The White House has not commented.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, more on the extraordinary news that arson attacks on properties owned by British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer originated in Russia. The Financial Times reported on Tuesday that pro-Kremlin hacktivists, combining hacking skills with a commitment to acts of sabotage, are linked to Moscow. Earlier this week, a 22-year-old Ukrainian construction worker and a 27-year-old Ukrainian Romanian were convicted of arson attacks on the Prime Minister's family home and other targets linked to him. Margaret Gilmore is a journalist and lecturer on security issues.
It's a technique that the Russians have been using for quite a long time. You may remember last year, for example, 6 Bulgarians were jailed in the UK for spying for Russia from inside the UK. Again, they were people who were really driven by money, low-level criminals who were just doing what they were being told and being paid the sort of money that they could only dream of if they were doing their normal jobs, which would be to work on a construction site or something like that. So it's a common technique. We know that they're doing it. It came out in the court case. They were driven by money.
The Russians reportedly communicated with the arsonists via Telegram, an app that is notably not included in the UK's proposed social media ban for the under-16s that was announced this week. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, Iran's foreign minister says without the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Lebanese territory, the war hasn't come to an end. The FBI says it's arrested multiple people in connection with an alleged terrorist plot to attack Sunday's Ultimate Fighting Championship event at the White House. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President Donald Trump are meeting on the sidelines of the G7 summit on Wednesday, with pressure on Modi to criticize the US for military strikes which killed 3 Indian sailors in the Gulf last week. That's the latest feature story news. Stuart Smith reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp-speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
We are now video streaming the Rated R Safety Show. I don't know why our host has a face for radio. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so here we go. 15 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Whipabout Wednesday. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on inside of the multiverse, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go right into the jugular here in regards to talking about this. So VP J.D. Vance showed up yesterday on The View. So, of course, you know, the world was talking. So here's what he had to say about when J.D. was asked why he hasn't seen more of the Epstein documents.
Why haven't we seen the release of over 2.5 million additional Epstein file documents? It seems like you are someone that is on the right side of history on this.
So we have released, I think it's 6 million files or 6 million pages of documents. My understanding is that 2.5 million, Sonny. I'm going to check on this to make sure, but my understanding is that a lot of those are duplicates of things that have already been released.
So then
we're not
release them,
holding,
but
we're not holding anything back. Some of those things are like the courts have to order you to release them. So that was one thing that we confronted. You talk about this situation in meetings is, you know, there's a big bunch of files that existed, I think, in the Southern District of New York, or maybe it was some other jurisdiction. But we were like, we want to release these files, but you need the court approval in order to release the files. Sometimes we would apply to release the files, and the courts would say no. So those particular documents, I would need to actually know exactly what you're talking about.
3.5 million documents were released, and my understanding is 2.5 million have not been released.
Those may have been the ones that are under court suit. I don't know what the documents you're talking about.
So there you go. Of course, you know, they're going to lay in with all the questions they have. The problem with that show, and let me just kind of get to it. You know, it's been around for years, but they have this habit of where they like to talk over each other. So sometimes it's very difficult to follow along on what the hell's going on. Let's just be realistic. Let's not hate here. I'm just saying exactly how it rolls out. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about. So what do you think? Definitely some things to think about and give some consideration to as we are talking. Okay, so let's start talking about some other things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So UFC fighter Josh Hokit is what I think his name is standing by the controversial remarks that he made after winning the fight at President Trump's White House UFC event. During his post-interview with Joe Rogan, Josh praised Trump before repeating the false claim that Michelle Obama is a man, drawing a mixed reaction from the crowd. Rather than apologizing, Josh later posted on Instagram that he's not here to be liked, and that he will do whatever it takes to succeed. UFC CEO Dana White condemned the comment, saying that he's a strong supporter of free speech, but opposes nasty and false things said about people's families. The UFC also edited out the remark out of the clip that they shared online, so there you go. Some things to think about. I don't know. It was kind of a weird one. Now, I will tell you, I have been a UFC fan for quite some time. I remember when we used to exchange videotapes back in the day. So yeah, I did watch the White House event. It was interesting. I mean, it was definitely an interesting atmosphere when it came to the whole thing. It was kind of weird when the guy said that, but it was just out of the blue. But you know, this is what happens. The guy really wants to do stuff like they do in professional wrestling, where controversy creates cash. And I think he was trying to do the shock and awe. That way he could get some kind of reaction, and he's getting what he wants. So I guess it worked out for him. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other stuff real quick. At the G7 summit, President Trump publicly criticized Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over the Israel's military campaign in Lebanon, saying that fighting has gone on too long and too many people have been killed. Trump said Israel should be able to target Hezbollah without destroying the entire apartment building, and urged Netanyahu to be more responsible in Lebanon. He also revealed that suggested that Syria take the lead in dealing with Hezbollah. Let's see. If Israel couldn't do so, that to minimize the civilian casualties. Trump added that he believes the U.S. support has been critical to Israel's security, and said that the new U.S.-Iran memorandum of understanding allows Israel to respond to attacks from Lebanon during negotiations. So there you go. Definitely some things that are going on. I don't know. It gets weirder and weirder as we continue to talk about everything that is going on inside of this world. It's just one of those things I never understand how to talk about it and how to interact from time to time. Is definitely what it sounds like. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things. FBI Director Kash Patel says agents and law enforcement partners foiled an alleged terror plot targeting President Trump's UFC Freedom 250 event on the White House lawn. According to Patel, investigators uncovered signal chats involving 23 people discussing plans to attack the event, leading to a multi-state operation that resulted to at least 5 arrests before the fights took place. Authorities say that the alleged plan called for an explosive-laden drones to strike nearby buildings, trigger panic, and funnel fleeing crowds towards the snipers before a second wave of attempted to storm the White House gates. And the investigation is ongoing, and officials say that additional details will be released as the court's proceedings move forward. So what do you think? I'm just saying. It's just some interesting times as we are talking about it. I mean, that is some hell of a plan there when you really start thinking about it, about what exactly is going to be done. So there you go. Okay, some other news. Details are emerging about the proposed U.S.-Iran peace agreement. Reports say the 12-point framework would pause fighting across the region, temporary ease sanctions on Iran, allow limited Iranian oil sales, and guarantee toll-free commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz during 60-day negotiation period. The plan also calls for more talks on Iran's nuclear program, the possible release of frozen Iranian assets, and if a final deal is reached, a U.S. troop withdrawal and a proposed $300 billion reconstruction fund for Iran. The White House has not confirmed the reports. Details saying more information will be released after Friday's signing ceremony. So hold on real quick. I'm just trying to make sure that I understand. So you decide to go into a battle with another country, even though you said you weren't going to fight anybody. I'm just saying. So you go out there, you do the stuff, and then after everything, if you decide that you're going to withdraw, and then you're going to hand out $300 billion with a B to help fund the reconstruction of what you destroyed? What a weird time.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Yeah, so there you go. Interesting times for sure. Let's continue talking about some other stuff that is going on. Floyd Mayweather is facing 2 felony charges in Nevada after prosecutors say that he used a bad check to buy $200,000 luxury watch from a Las Vegas store in 2024. He charged it with a theft and intent to defraud, and if convicted, could face a possible significant prison time. His attorneys have not commented on the case, which comes as Mayweather is also dealing with other legal financial disputes. Who writes a check? I mean, like, seriously, who writes a check anymore? I'm just asking. Like, when was the last time you went to a store and you personally busted out with a check?
Duh.
Or you were standing in line of a store and somebody busted out with a check?
Duh.
I mean, I'm just saying. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Now, have I received checks? Oh, God, yes. But have I seen someone bust out with one? It's been a hot minute. That's for sure. Okay, let's continue talking about some other stuff. French President Emmanuel Macron and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky were caught on a hot mic at the G7 discussing a possible meeting with President Trump. The brief conversation suggested Macron was helping arrange the meeting, though much of it couldn't be heard. Trump later said that they met with Zelensky as Ukraine continues seeking support from G7 leaders and its war with Russia. What do you think? Like, this is a new story that somebody had a hot mic I mean, this is the way that I look at it. If you have a microphone in front of you and you don't want people to hear what the hell's going on, make sure the damn thing's off. I'm just saying. So there you go. Okay, so I got this one sent to me a couple times, so let's talk about this. Because I'm kind of confused. So you might have to assist here because I have no idea here. Have you heard about this? There's a new viral TikTok trend has people pan-frying glazed Krispy Kreme donuts to create a crispy caramelized shell similar to the creme brulee. The hack has racked up millions of views and even prompted Krispy Kreme to post it on its own tutorial, calling it the most delicious hack in history. While many fans are eager to try it, others say that it's been frying the donuts for years and insist the original glaze is already perfect and shouldn't be messed with. So what do you think? Like, I don't understand some of this stuff sometimes. It's like, what in the hell is going on with some of these weird things as we talk about them? I mean, I don't know. Do you really find that important? But hey, it did make the news cycle, so there you go. Some stuff to think about. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple of ones here because they were kind of interesting as I got them. A pregnant woman is asking the internet for advice after her husband insisted on naming her daughter Clarice, inspired by the FBI agent Clarice Starling from The Silence of the Lambs. While he admires the character's strength and intelligence, his wife can't shake the movie's connection and worries that people will immediately think of Hannibal Lecter. See suggested alternatives like Clarice, but her husband refuses to budge on the spelling. Reddit users were split, with many agreeing with Clarice is a beautiful name, but warning that their daughter may spend a lifetime hearing "Hello, Clarice." Well, we hope that people would say hello. So there you go. The baby's first words might be, "Please stop doing the Hannibal voice," or at least at this time, Hannibella might be a better name. Who knows? So there you go. What do you think here? Some interesting stuff as we are talking. No doubt about that. So take a listen to this. When a Chinese company has unveiled an AI-powered robotic toilet that comes to you instead of the other way around. Designed for people with mobility issues, and self-driving toilet uses obstacle avoiding technology to navigate a home and then returns to the docking station where it flushes itself onto the home's into the plumbing, not onto the home plumbing. Sanitizes itself with water jets and UV lights. The high-end tech toilet sells for about, you ready for this? $13,000. $13,000. So there you go. So what do you think? What an interesting time. So Roomba just lost to the weirdest competition ever. Imagine getting cut off in the hallway by a toilet. That would be one. And GPS now stands for Gotta Poop System because there's just no other way to do it. I mean, think about how crazy this is for a moment. All of a sudden, now these days, you're going to be fighting a toilet in the hallway. I mean, just think about some of the oddities here on what's going to happen with these things, especially if somebody can afford a $13,000 toilet. Let's make sure that we don't forget that particular part.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's start talking right away about some other stuff going on because, hey, why would you not want to do this? An Alaska woman mushroom foraging trip turned into the fight for survival when a black bear attacked her German short-hair pointer. Chaos near the Sri Lake. Lori Price rushed towards the attack, pulled out a Glock 43 9mm pistol and shot the bear. Even after being hit, the bear got back up twice before finally retreating. Chaos suffered, that's the name of the dog, just in case. Chaos suffered multiple bite wounds and even lost blood. But emergency responders and veterinarians were able to save him. The dog is expected to make a full recovery. The price credits the firearm and quick medical care, saving her pet's life. Her other dogs, Willis, escaped the encounter unharmed. Yeah, what a crazy time here. what it sounds like. Take a listen to this one real quick. A 68-year-old Michigan man struck it rich after forgetting one simple instruction that he always gives his cashier. He usually tells clerks to print any fast cash lottery game except the Detroit Lions game because it had never bought him any luck. This time he forgot to say it and ended up with a Detroit Lions ticket and tucked it into his pocket without looking. The next morning he discovered that it was worth $1.05 million jackpot. His wife burst into tears when she saw the winning ticket, and the man says that he has never been happier to have forgotten something. He plans to use the money to take care of his family, so there you go. Interesting times as we are talking. What else do we got here? A lot of stuff going on, of course. Going on here. Let me talk about this one. An Australian relationship expert and father of four have revealed the threshold moments to help maintain a happy marriage. In a TikTok video, Darren Chapman said that the threshold moments refer to when you see your partner for the first time after a number of hours, such as in the morning or after work. In the clip, Chapman said that it's crucial to ensure the moments are positive interactions to feel the connection with your partner when you see your spouse for the first time in the morning and when you both get home from work. That's a really important moment. Chapman said in the video that you can make the threshold moment a positive experience, the moment when you feel the connected and in love, to make the most of these small but essential moments with your spouse. Chapman outlined 5 simple steps. Here's how they go. Smile, be genuine and pleased to see them. Say hello and engage in a conversation and ask questions on how did you sleep or how was your day. Be interested in what they have to say. Give them a hug or a kiss. Don't rush off. And don't pull out your phone. And say goodbye before leaving to work. Okay. I guess that's the success to a happy marriage.
Duh.
Is what it sounded like there, based on what this person is saying. So, some stuff to think about, I guess, as we are talking. So, there you go. Let's get into the move and the groove of the stuff. It is 32 minutes past the top of the hour, so let's get into your main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so some main story time. Some time to hang out, some time to talk, some time to think about some of the stuff that we need to be referencing inside of the world of the multiverse. And listen, today's Whip 'em Out Wednesday, so let's keep it happy-go-lucky for sure. And no, we're not going to sit here and talk about some black iron prison, and we're not going to sit here and talk about a black line or a blue line at the moment. I know we seem to cover a lot of that. But today we're going to talk about something a little bit interesting. Today we're going to flip the script a little bit, and I want to ask you some important questions that I would like to have just the most basic understanding to. I would like to have the crucial understanding of some of the weirdest things that happen. So let's go through it. I want you to think about you working at the place that you're at. Okay? And for a brief moment, remember that you left somewhere, more than likely, to go to where you're at now. Don't know why you left, but you left. And now you're at this new place. And all of a sudden, things have been going the way that you want. And I mean that in the best possible way. I'm talking about you've built out or helped assist create a safety program, or maybe a safety change of mind, a culture of change inside of the workplace. And things are running smoothly. Things are starting to head the direction that you've been wanting for years based on the trajectory of the work that you've done. You've worked at other places, you've seen the things that have worked, and you've seen the things that have not worked. And all of a sudden, boom, things have changed. Things have looked a different direction. Things are going the way that exactly you expected. And I want you to think about how that has worked out for you. How these ideas that you've had, that you've wanted to incorporate for years, have finally been allowed to be incorporated at this new place that you're at. Got it? Things are working. They're going on all cylinders. Hey, I'm not going to say it's been easy, but they're definitely going the direction that you want. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, here's the next thing that occurs. This lovely environment that you love, where you're at, where you're enjoying life, they have decided to bring in someone else to come and assist and work. Let's put this person ahead of wherever you're in. So if you're middle management, they're in upper management. If you're in upper management, they're in C-suite. If they're in the C-suite, they're on the board. And they brought in this person, and this person used to work at the company that you were at before, and this was the company you decided to leave. And they have brought back all of their mindset that you tried to walk away from.
Duh.
What exactly is going to happen now? What exactly are you going to do? Because you know you're going to have that moment that you're going to question things on how things used to be. And all of a sudden you're going to have this expectation that this person that you worked with before, or maybe even worked somewhere else with, is going to try to bring back the same old shit that they were doing before. So are you going to think that, or are you going to give the opportunity for them to discuss with you on what you're doing where you're currently at and how you would like to continue to move that forward? Or would the automatic assumption be that they're going to bring in the old stuff? Now, I ask this question because sometimes in life these things occur. Sometimes these things happen just out of the blue that you don't expect to see happen. So I ask this question for the following reason. Sometimes in life we go down these different paths to get somewhere. Sometimes there are places we want to be. Sometimes there are places that we don't want to be. But as you look at this, sometimes it's just a gentle shove that will occur when you're looking at this. Now, let me ask you a strange question. If this is to happen to you, verbatim, as I'm saying, verbatim, what are you going to do? Will you be able to learn and improve? Or will you look at it and go, this is not going to be for me? Because that's where sometimes our cards are dealt in life, where we have to be able to think about these things. And would we be able to change these patterns, to change these things based on information like this? I'm only asking this question because I want to have a better understanding. I want to have the understanding that at the end of the day, what are you willing to change? Would you stand your firm ground and say, I'm not changing anything? Or would you be willing to open and listen? Because that's going to be the biggest step here. Because sometimes we go to places that we want to be in, and sometimes we go to places that we don't want to be in, and then we do not want to listen to anything that's related to change. Especially when you kind of look at it and you go, oh, the stuff that I used to hate is now following me, even in the new places that I'm at. That's something to think about.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
You've seen the loop. You've felt the shift. The script doesn't fit anymore, and neither do you. Safety transmission. The collapse of the construct is the third and final signal in the trilogy from J. Allen, Ph.D. And this time, it's not about waking up. It's about what you do once you're awake. The system didn't break. It just stopped pretending to hold you. And now it's blinking, rebranding presence, packaging resistance, and calling it progress. This book isn't a guide. It's a transmission. It doesn't teach the system how to evolve. It shows you how to stop performing for it. You'll see what happens when awareness becomes responsibility, when audits don't listen, and when leadership becomes a loop. But if you've made it this far, you're not here to be managed. You're here to carry signal, safety transmission, the collapse of the construct. Now available in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by J. Allen, PhD. Because if it couldn't hold your signal, it was never real to begin with.
So do you feel like you're missing out on what everyone is starting to do now, that live streaming thing, and you don't know where to start or what to do? I have the resource and the information to provide to you in regards on how you can stream onto 40 social media platforms all at one time. Yes, that's 40 social media platforms all at one time. All you'll need to do is go to safetyfm.com/1. That's safetyfm.com/1. That's ONE. So just in case, and you'll be able to start live streaming just like you're hearing people starting to do right now, up to 40 social media platforms.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
You are listening to a renowned safety expert, Dr. J. Allen, on Safety FM. Changing safety cultures, one broadcast and one podcast at a time. Join the fun on social media and find us on Facebook at Safety FM.
This puzzle again. Keep it simple, ain't in my partner's vocabulary yet. I'm stuck at this hurdle again, where you pull, then I fall, then you leave. Where you pull, then I fall, then you leave. Baby, you're driving round and through the walls lately. I'm staring at the ceiling thinking, how do we go from something good to strangers? Replaying you walking.
Okay. Here we are, 44 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Whip 'em Out Wednesday. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Yep. So this right here that we're taking a listen to is Sam Wallen. The song's called Lately. Readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. Would love for you to take a little streamer-eamer action to that one. We would like to thank Sam for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. A lot of stuff going on. Yep. Always a good time. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse. So let's start talking right away about one of the most important things that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And to be honest with you, it'll probably be the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and that healing is possible. Things can get better. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, you'll see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. As you go around on that particular website, if you take a look around, there's all kinds of stuff related to stories, how to get involved, self-care, events that they have coming up, and it even has some of the lines that are available if you need immediate help. If you're in the United States and Canada, you can text number 741-741. If you need it in the UK, you can text 852-58. That's 852-58. In Ireland, 50808. If you're in the U.S. and you need the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, you can call or text 988. If you need the Trans Lifeline, 877-565-8860. That's 877-565-8860. Or you can go to the Trevor Project, 866-488-7386. That's 866-488-7386. Listen, you never know when you might need some of these resources, so there you go. TWLOHA.com, To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Like I said, the most important thing that I'll ever tell you. So here you go. Let's talk about this real quick because this is actually coming up in less than a month. We're just a few weeks away now. Just a few weeks away. We're calling this one Reality Shift, an observational symposium, 100% live and in person. Would love for you to come and hang out with us July the 13th in Orlando. We're going to be at the Aloma Cinema Grill. Would love for you to come and hang out with us. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.io to find out more information. The day will consist of Nick Weatherly being there, talking about behavior-based safety. I have Todd Conklin there talking about human and organizational performance, and I will be there talking about Signal. So we'd love to see you there. Come and hang out with us and go to Orlando. It's going to be at a movie theater, so much different than what we normally do. So, yeah, we're going to take advantage, and we're going to watch a little documentary while we're there, too. So it'll be some fun times getting to do a little bit of everything as we are hanging out on that particular day. No doubt about that. So safetyfm.io, or you can scan the little QR code that's right there on the screener, and then we'll kind of move forward with that. And would love to see you there, July the 13th. Yeah, it's a Monday, just in case. Come hang out. We'll do some things. No doubt about that. Anyways, with that being said, I do have my friend John Small waiting in the wing, wanting to talk about what the hell is going on with the Motivation Minute. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
The Motivation Minute. Courtesy of Jay'sCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Tobias. Thurgood Marshall said, "The legal system can force open doors and sometimes even knock down walls, but it cannot build bridges. That job belongs to you and me." I love that. It reminds me of a parable of two brothers who lived on adjoining farms and shared everything for over 40 years, but they had a bitter falling out. One day, a carpenter arrived seeking work. The older brother said, "Hey, build a tall fence right between our properties to block out my brother." Then the older brother left for town. When he returned at sunset, he was shocked to find that there was no fence. Instead, the carpenter had built a beautiful bridge across a dividing creek. The younger brother walked across the bridge, held out his hand, and asked for forgiveness. Moved by the gesture, they reconciled and embraced, proving that building connections can heal old wounds. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Financial markets rallied after reports of progress toward an agreement aimed at easing tensions involving Iran.
Major stock indexes advanced while oil prices moved lower as investors reacted to the development. Analysts said markets are awaiting additional details before assessing the longer-term economic impact. Kevin Sanders reporting.
World leaders gathered in France as fresh diplomatic moves on Iran and Ukraine reshaped discussions at a closely watched summit.
Leaders focused on support for Ukraine while reviewing a preliminary agreement aimed at ending recent conflict between Washington and Tehran. Ukrainian officials pressed for stronger defenses, and further talks are expected as diplomatic efforts continue. Chris Anderson reporting.
A powerful earthquake struck part of Indonesia, sending frightened residents into open areas and causing scattered damage.
Officials reported strong shaking around central Sulawesi, where emergency crews began assessing affected neighborhoods and infrastructure. Authorities continued inspections while monitoring for injuries and additional disruptions. Lawrence Keller reporting.
A military aircraft crash in California's Mojave Desert left 8 people dead after the bomber went down.
The aircraft reportedly crashed shortly after takeoff from an Air Force installation in the region. Investigators are working to determine the cause, while military officials review operational records. Kyle Norris reporting.
Ukraine's president sought new backing from major allies while arguing that Russian forces face growing pressure across the battlefield.
During meetings with world leaders, Kyiv pushed for additional military support and tougher measures against Moscow. Several governments signaled continued assistance, while discussions on possible peace negotiations remain active. Benjamin Wright reporting.
Germany's president warned that rising tensions in the South China Sea could threaten global trade routes and regional stability.
During a visit to the Philippines, he highlighted concerns about freedom of navigation in disputed waters. The remarks reflected growing international attention on security risks throughout the Indo-Pacific region. Gary Beck reporting.
Federal investigators said they disrupted a suspected plot targeting a major sporting event in the nation's capital.
Authorities became aware of the threat several days before the event and launched an extensive investigation. Multiple suspects were identified, and officials are examining possible connections to a broader network. Jessica Oakley reporting.
A new report suggested the Federal Reserve may keep interest rates unchanged longer than many investors expected.
Economists cited persistent inflation concerns and expectations of a cautious policy approach by central bankers. Financial institutions are adjusting forecasts as they watch upcoming decisions and economic.
We're rocking all day at work because we don't give a duck. Autocorrect probably just saved my ass there. Like I give a flying, you know.
Okay, there you go. As we are 53 minutes past the top of the hour. Okay, so let's start talking about some other things that are going on. Let's talk about what things that happened back on this date. Back in 1885, Statue of Liberty arrived in New York City aboard the French ship. So there you go. In 1982, President Reagan in this case, first UN Gen Assembly address Evil Empire speech. In 1988, Bruce Springsteen separates from Juliette Phillips. In 2017, Bill Cosby's trial for aggravated indecent assault declared a mistrial after jurors couldn't reach a verdict. In 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden signs into law Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, making June 19th a federal holiday commemorating the emancipation. So there you go. That all happened back on the dates that I was referencing as I was talking about it. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about some birthdays going on today. Barry Manilow turns 83. Newt Gingrich turns 83 as well. Joe Piscopo Yeah, he turned 75 today. Bobby Farrell turns 68. Thomas Hayden Church turned 66. Greg Kinnear turned 63. Dan Jansen turned 61. J.C. Patrick turned 60 today. Will Fort turns 56. And Venus Williams, she turns 46 today, just in case if you're wondering. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is for $238 million.
Duh.
And here's last night's winning Mega Ball number: 12, 20, 53, 67, 70, and the Mega Ball was 12. So there you go. Renovations at the algae filled reflection pool at the Lincoln Reflection Pool are expected to cost $16 million. President Trump announced the restoration project in April after complaints about the pool's condition. According to the National Park Services, the aging pool has been leaking an estimated 16 million gallons each year. So there you go. Okay, Yum Brands is selling Pizza Hut for $2.7 billion. The deal to a private firm, Long Range Capital, while Yum China Holdings will acquire the chain's mainland China operation. Yum Brands says that the sale will allow the company to focus on its core business and invest in more technology growth and long-term value. So that's one expensive stuffed crust, if you think about it. And Pizza Hut has officially been delivered to a new owner, so there you go. In some other news, Luigi Mangione is scheduled to appear in court after the paperwork errors delayed his hearing by 1 day. Mangione had pleaded not guilty to the state and federal charges in the December 2024 killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. His state murder trial is set to begin on September the 8th, while both sides continue preparing for jury selection. A judge has already ruled that some evidence from the initial police search cannot be used, though a gun and notebook later found in his backpack will be allowed at the time of the trial. So there you go. Also in some other news, a small private jet carrying 6 people crashed and burst into flames in Laredo, Texas on a highway last night, killing 1 person and sparking a frantic rescue effort by the first responders and passing motorists. The 5 other people on board, while five police officers were hospitalized for smoke inhalation after helping the fiery crash scene. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, so there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm and hanging out over there for the next couple hours or so, talking about the world of music and entertainment. If you want to come and hang out with me, you're more than welcome on doing that on that side of the aisle. If you don't want to go over there, you can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he gets to talk about the world of safety consulting. Yep. So there you go. There's some options for you if you want to do that. Anyways, if I can leave you with some words of wisdom, here you go. The best apology is changed behavior. And if you need some words of advice, if you're out of deodorant, try cutting a lemon or an orange in half and rubbing it onto your skin to help combat your body odor. Like, do you rub that into your pits? Because that sounds disgusting. I'm just saying, especially if you leave it around, then somebody decides to take the orange or the lemon. Okay, we'll leave that for a different conversation. Anyways, that's it. Thank you for hanging out with me on this lovely day. Always a good time when you and I get to hang out together. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.